Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, then welcome to my channel. This is my Father's Day drawing I drew in celebration of Father's Day. I did draw it way ahead of time though, to make sure I had time to make a Speedpaint and do voiceover, since voiceover is a little bit tricky when it comes to finding time to do them. But for this drawing, I actually decided to draw some OCs, since, or original characters of mine, since I've kind of been obsessed with them lately. But I know nobody knows anything about my own characters, so I figured I'd go ahead and do a quick voiceover and tell you a little bit about them, so that it's not like I'm just drawing random people to you. So I'm gonna try to make this quick. I'm gonna try not to ramble, because I can ramble about my OCs. Just ask my brother; he's heard it all. So yes, I'm gonna try to keep this quick. So first, let's go ahead and start off the names. The names are Alistair and Ain, and Alistair's the adult, and Ain is the kid. So Alistair is Ain's adopted father, and yeah. So maybe a little bit about the world they live in. They're in this particular OC universe. It is separated into kingdoms, and it's also separated into two peoples. So there's the genetically enhanced, and there's the non-enhanced people. So or normal people. They're typically the enhanced people reign over the non-enhanced people. So the enhanced people are usually referred to as like highborn or noble, and the non-enhanced or normal people are usually referred to as peasants or lowborn. And yeah, so these two peoples typically don't really care for each other too much either. So like the nobles always look down to the peasants and see them as lesser, and the peasants look at the nobles and see them as snobby and better than thou. So that's typically how it is in this universe. Now, in the particular kingdom that Alistair and Ain live in, there's the kingdom, and then there's the capital city where most of their story takes place, and then in the city, or capital city, there's the castle, which is like a little mini city or mini town that the higher ranked nobles live in, and then there's the palace, which is in the castle, where the royal family, the king, queen, and such live. So that's how it goes. There's the kingdom, capital city, castle in the capital city, and then the palace, which is in the castle where the royal family lives. So that's how it is set up. So yeah, now a little bit about Alistair. Alistair is a noble. He's specifically a count, and at one time he governed a part of the kingdom for a while. With the city, he probably had the province he will kind of govern for the king, since the king can't be everywhere at once. The count does. At the time he had a wife and a son, and I'm assuming war hit and that area, and his wife and his 11-year-old son died, and yeah, that city was wrecked, and he's left all by himself. And after the war ends, though, the city is rebuilt, but he decides not to go back, and he ends up going to the castle at the capital city and ends up living there. So I'm thinking maybe instead of being over a province, that maybe he's instead head of like a department or something like weapons development or whatever, and kind of looks over that for the king instead of ruling over a province. But yeah, so during his downtime, he'll sometimes spend time in the palace gardens, and he has his favorite spots in the garden, and that's usually where he will hang out during his downtime, sometimes when he has downtime. Okay, so that's Alistair. Now, Ain is lowborn. He is a peasant, and he was born in a little town not too far from the capital city, and some circumstances happened, and I'm thinking maybe a natural disaster ended up kind of wrecking the town he lived in, and his family and a lot of others ended up moving to the capital city because of this. I was probably about 30 years old at the time. And so they end up renting an apartment in the city, and his dad goes to work and such, and his dad ends up dying in an accident, and I'm not sure, maybe like a car accident or something. And his mom ends up going to work, and I end up going in a school instead of being homeschooled, which he hates because he's like bullied and he's bullied a lot in school. He's probably about 5 years old around that time. And his mom's, trying to keep up with the rent and the food and stuff and provide for him, and she's probably working like 2 or 3 jobs. But eventually she dies of illness, and Ain's put in an orphanage, but he gets bullied a lot there, and he can't handle it, so he runs away, and he ends up on the street, living on the street, and he's about 8 years old at that time. Okay, so I'm going to quickly introduce this kingdom's princess. She plays a little part in this. Her name's Adelaide, Princess Adelaide, and she is not like most other nobles, and she acknowledges her rank, but she doesn't see why she should treat anyone differently because of it. So, regardless of whether they're highborn or lowborn, she treats everyone kindly and with respect. And she also likes to visit the peasants in the city sometimes. So she usually is often going outside the castle into the actual capital city. And she just shop and explore and try restaurants and stuff. And she doesn't get to do it as often as she would like though, due to her dad not liking her to do that. They go on their escort and hang out, and this is one of these trips she meets Ain, and of course, she has pity on him because he's living on the street and he's an orphan. So she ends up taking him back to the castle and asking her dad if he could stay, and she convinces the king to let him stay. Of course, he didn't want him to, but the king allows Ain to stay on one condition. That is that Ain is to be a servant. If it was up to Adelaide, he would have just been adopted right into the royal family. But he has to be a servant if he's going to stay. That was the condition. Alright, so now Ain is in the castle. Now how he and Alistair meet. Let's see if I can make this long story short. So Ain is now the princess's personal servant pretty much, and playmate. So his job is pretty much to play with her and keep her occupied, or to play with her, I guess. But he also helps with a lot of the servant stuff when he's not occupying the princess. So, yeah, during his downtime, he actually likes to go to the palace garden too, and he happened to pick the same spot that Alistair likes as his favorite spot. So that's how he ends up running into Alistair. Usually when he's in the garden, or when Ain has downtime, it's usually because the princess tells him to wait there in the garden for finish up her studies, and she'll come meet him and play and stuff. But while he's waiting, he goes to his favorite spot, which happens to be Alistair's favorite spot. That's how they bump into each other. Of course, Alistair doesn't like it at first because he's a highborn and he's this lowborn kid invading his favorite spot, the garden. But after they run into each other enough times, Ain ends up growing on Alistair a little bit. And when Ain is 9, when Ain turns 9 years, he ends up wanting to join the highborn combat school, and now he normally wouldn't be allowed in there because he's lowborn, but the princess said he is, so that's how he gets in. And he wanted to join so that he can learn how to fight and protect the princess if need be, and also so he could learn how to fly airplanes, because that was always a dream of his, to fly airplanes. And of course it's tough for him because he's a servant and he's the princess's personal playmate, and then he has school, and then of course he gets bullied a lot at school because he is lowborn in a highborn school, so of course he's going to get bullied and made fun of. There's all that, and it's kind of taking a toll on his sleep schedule and health and stuff. And he ends up talking to Alistair about it sometimes when they would bump into each other in the garden. So Alistair ends up pitying him a little bit, and also, which causes Ain to grow on him a little bit more. And also, Alistair's late son, who died in that war a while back, had the same dream of wanting to fly an airplane as Ain did. So of course, Ain ends up reminding Alistair of his late son, and so makes Ain grow on him more. And eventually, around Ain's 10th birthday, I'm thinking it'll be about his birthday, Alistair ends up adopting him. So yeah, that's how they meet, and that is how Alistair ends up adopting Ain. Okay, I think I got it all. So that's a quick overview of these two characters and their stories and such. But I did leave out a lot of things because it's supposed to be really quick. But yeah, and not everything's quite worked out yet, so that's why I had a couple I'm thinking maybes in there and stuff. But maybe one day I'll get around to making some OC profile videos. I'll like draw my OC and just tell you everything about them, but that's a big maybe, and I'm not sure if it'll be happening anytime soon, but we'll see, we'll see. But I hope this story still helping Speedpaint a little more enjoyable anyhow, and it's not like they're just random people. But a little bit about the drawing itself, I did kind of take my time on this. That's why it kind of took me a while, despite it being simple for a picture, simple poses and such. But yeah, I kind of felt like there's something missing after I finished it, but I'm not sure what exactly, so I just left it. And I also kind of think I should have made Ain a little bit smaller, because Alistair is really tall, and Ain's probably only about 11 in this picture, so he'd still be quite short, but I don't know. Maybe it's okay. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!